So apparently when it comes down to the Braxtons coming out with a season 2, production definitely put a pause on it due to all the sisters getting into it with Tamar. And for those who don't know, Tamar is not a friend of the show this season. She came on as like a main character or main cast member, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? But she decided to bring on Ashley. And for those who don't know, Ashley is their niece from their brother.
And speaking of reality TV, you know, I've decided to go back to the Braxtons because remember last season I was a friend to the show.
For real?
Yeah.
The tea is boiling. Trina is throwing serious shade at Tamar. Word is, Tamar's wild behavior might have just gotten their whole show shut down. Things behind the scenes have gone from quiet tension to full-blown war. And now, producers are thinking about pulling the plug because it's just too chaotic to handle. And that's saying a lot, since producers usually love some drama. So what did Tamar do this time? Insiders claim she exposed Trina's ex for allegedly messing with younger women. Tamar dragged out some private business that did not sit right with Trina. And if there's one thing we know, Trina don't play when it comes to her man. But it doesn't stop there. Tamar's also accusing Trina of turning their sisters against her, basically freezing her out of the family. Now folks are asking, is Tamar really being pushed out by her own sisters? Or is she spinning the whole thing and playing victim again? The tension exploded when Toni Braxton herself walked off set. That's right, mid-filming, she dipped out. Word is, Toni was fed up with the non-stop mess and had to bounce. According to insiders, she left during taping for the upcoming season of The Braxtons. Toni Braxton is done with the sister drama, officially. She opened up and said after Tracy passed, they all promised to stick together. But now, it's worse than ever. That moment hit fans hard because everyone remembers that promise. They swore they'd keep it tight after losing Tracy. Now it feels like that bond's shattered.
It's a matter of respect. I respect where people are. That's just it. Is that why? I respect where people are. I don't engage. I don't pour into certain types of energy. Mm-hmm. I make different choices in my life. Mm-hmm. And that's just where I am. Now this is TV, John. outside of yesterday and today, when was the last time you talked to me? I don't recall. It wasn't my birthday because you didn't call me. Your birthday's September, here we are in March. I am in this space. I am in a space of, I'm just focusing on my relationship and whoever's in my household. I'm focusing on my children. I'm focusing on my relationship. In your household? Tony's in your household? They call me. I talk to them every day. Girl, you don't answer the phone. That's girl, not true. Stop. Let's be specific. Did you call me yesterday? I did. Did I answer it? Well, because we're taping now. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Oh. When you called me, every time you called, that is not every time you called, I answered. Every time you text, I answer. That's a fact. Okay. That's a fact. So I'm a liar. No, you said that. I didn't call you that. That's the word that you're using.
Let's get one thing straight. Some people are out here blaming Toni, but she's not the one at the center of this storm. This chaos, it's all spinning around Tamar and Trina. Yeah, Tawanda's name gets thrown in now and then, but the real clash, it's Tamar versus Trina, and it's been brewing for a while. This isn't new beef. It's been simmering and finally boiled over last season. The current series of The Braxtons has been airing for a while and fans can feel the tension. This isn't just a few shady comments, it's full-on emotional warfare playing out on screen. Sure, every sister's had their moments, but something between Tamar and Trina is just off. This ain't your regular family argument. This one runs deep. So deep, even therapy couldn't fix it. What makes it even sadder, the new season is supposed to honor Tracy, who passed in 2022, but instead of healing, it's pulling them further apart. The sisters have even been going to grief counseling together, and the cameras caught everything. But instead of peace, it's just more cracks showing. They sat down with a therapist named Spirit to work through the pain and unpack all that heavy baggage. But even during healing, the drama still found a way in. Tamar and Tawanda had a moment that froze the whole room. Tamar called her out, said she wasn't putting in any real effort to keep their relationship alive. Tawanda didn't back down though. She said she was done draining herself just to keep the peace. She needed to protect her mental health and set boundaries.
I want to clear up some discrepancies though. These people asking me, hey guys, have you spoken to Tamar? You guys talking to Tamar? You talk to Tamar? Of course. As I stated before, regardless on what happens, if any of my sisters call me, I'm going to pick up the phone and answer. If they need me, if they text me, I'm going to respond. And that's just the bottom line. That's just what it is. However, I am sensitive to other people's boundaries, and I respect people's boundaries regardless on what it is. If I agree or not, I'm going to respect your boundaries. If you say you don't feel like it, or you don't want to beg, you want to do this, guess what? I'm going to respect your boundaries by not crossing those lines. That's just it. And that's it. You know? If this person said, you act like you hard, you got a wall that makes it seem like you don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's not that. What it is that I have respectfully learned to compartmentalize the things that is more important. And it's not important for me to do anything other than to protect my peace. That's it. That's just it.
And now they barely talk. According to Tamar, the only time Tawanda picks up the phone or responds to texts is when the cameras are rolling. And that, to Tamar, feels straight up fake. This isn't just about not texting back. It's about respect. Tamar made it clear. She respects people's space. But what's going on now? It's way deeper than that. All the silent treatment, cold vibes, and mixed signals. This family's got wounds that still haven't healed. And yeah, family issues happen.
The show's supposed to do it because it's supposed to show real life family. We have a real life family, and real life family goes through real life situations. You're not going to get along all the time. You're not going to see eye to eye all the time, and everybody has their own journey, period. That's just it. So if you come on here talking about, oh, Tawanda is jealous, she's all jealous. How can I be jealous of one sister and not jealous of Tamar Braxton?
But when it all spills out on camera, that mess hits different. Viewers can feel the tension. Every single scene feels like it could blow up at any second. At this point, fans are wondering, do they even want to fix things? Or have they just given up and accepted that their bond might never be what it once was? One thing's clear. This drama keeps getting deeper, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. Remember when Tawanda jumped on Instagram Live last year to speak on her issues with Tamar? She said, I want to clear up some discrepancies, like she was ready to spill it all. But instead of peace, that live just stirred the pot even more. The comment section exploded. People came for Tawanda, saying she sounded jealous of Tamar's rise. Let's keep it real. Tamar's been winning for years with hit albums, TV shows, and tours. She's been cashing checks and staying booked. Sure, Tawanda's doing her thing too, but the internet doesn't care about the details. They picked sides fast, and a lot weren't on hers. Tamar's fans accused her of using the live to throw slick shade, claiming she couldn't handle Tamar being the breakout star. But Tawanda wasn't about to take that lying down. She fired back at the hate, saying fans were twisting her words just to start more mess. And when she clapped back, she meant every word. No sugarcoating, no holding back. And just when things seemed to cool off, Tawanda got married recently. And guess who was not invited to the wedding? Yep, Tamar was not invited. And this wasn't some mix-up either. Sources say it was loud, clear, and on purpose. After all the chaos last season, fans were hoping the sisters would grow up and move forward. But clearly, things stayed messy behind the scenes. Word is the drama got so out of hand during filming that production had to hit pause. Reports say filming for the Braxtons stopped cold after a fiery blowout between Tamar and the rest of the sisters. Season 2 is still supposed to drop this summer, but with all this chaos, nobody's sure it'll actually happen on time. At first, folks thought the fight was just between Tamar and Tawanda. They've been clashing for months. But then Trina entered the chat and flipped the whole thing upside down. She posted a cryptic message. To everyone who has distanced themselves from me, kindly stay there. Whew, ice cold. So what happened between Tamar and Trina to make things this bad? The talk is, their niece Ashley exposed some heavy dirt about Trina's late ex-husband Gabe, Ashley allegedly told Trina that Gabe had crossed major lines and was acting inappropriate, but instead of backing her up, Trina stood by her man, even knowing the accusations. Let's be honest, may Gabe rest, but he wasn't innocent. He was unfaithful for years during their 12-year marriage. And at one point, Trina even stepped out too. Toxic doesn't even begin to describe the mess between them, but Tamar allegedly siding with Ashley and digging all that back up. That's what really pushed Trina over the edge. No matter how wild things got, they somehow always circled back to each other. And of course, all that mess played out front and center on Braxton family values. Now, when the whispers started about Gabe possibly having eyes for Ashley, nobody was completely shocked. Gabe had a rep for not keeping his attention where it belonged. For context, Ashley Braxton is Michael Braxton's daughter. Yep, the Braxton sisters' niece, and she shook the internet when she dropped a bombshell that shook the whole family tree. Ashley claimed one of her aunts didn't just ignore the situation, she sided with her husband and flipped the whole thing, making Ashley look like the problem. And it gets worse. Ashley, now 32, said this all went down when she was just 16. She was simply visiting her aunt, just a regular family visit, nothing strange expected, but according to her, the husband started acting in ways that made her deeply uncomfortable, and it didn't stop there. Ashley says he later began sending her inappropriate messages. That's not just drama, that's a serious situation no teen should ever be put in, especially by someone in the family. Ashley eventually went home feeling shaken and confused. But the truth didn't stay hidden for long. Her stepmother came across the disturbing messages and went straight to Ashley's father, Michael Braxton. And let's just say, he didn't take it lightly. Michael, furious and heartbroken, reached out to his sister, Ashley's aunt, expecting the family to take it seriously. But instead of holding her man accountable, Ashley says her aunt flipped the script. Instead of protecting her niece, she defended her husband, pushed Ashley out, and left her feeling completely shut out by the family. That wasn't just betrayal, it changed everything. Ashley said it broke her trust and made her feel like she was being punished for telling the truth. That's when things took a sharp left. After staying silent for years, Ashley finally decided to speak out, and what she revealed had everybody shook. She claimed her stepmom and dad found inappropriate messages from one of her aunt's husbands, messages no grown man should ever be sending to a teen. Ashley was only 16 at the time. At first, her aunt acted supportive, crying with her, checking in, doing what family should do, but that didn't last. Ashley says her aunt's vibe changed. She grew cold, distant, and eventually flipped the whole thing around. Ashley felt like she was suddenly being blamed, like she somehow brought the attention on herself at 16. Make it make sense. Fast forward to today, Ashley says therapy helped her realize that what happened wasn't just unfair, it was damaging. She'd been carrying weight that was never hers to hold. Opening up helped her heal, but it also reopened old wounds. She talked about how wild it felt to connect with other women who'd been through the same kind of pain. They related, but in the most heartbreaking way. And to be clear, Ashley never dropped a single name. Not once did she say which aunt was involved, but the internet, they jumped in like detectives on a mission, piecing together clues and pulling receipts like they were getting paid for it. As soon as her story hit the timeline, fans started putting the puzzle together, looking at who was married to who back then. Here's what we do know. The situation happened over 15 years ago. At the time Trina was married to Gabe, Tamar was with Daryl Allenby, Tawanda had Andre, and Tracy was with Kevin. So the list of possible names? Small enough to spark speculation, but wide enough to keep things messy. Since Ashley didn't name names, likely to protect herself from more fallout, it left the door wide open for people to jump to conclusions. And fans, oh, they weren't letting it go. They went back to old Braxton Family Values episodes, rewatching interviews, scenes, even behind the scenes clips, trying to find anything that might expose the truth. Fans were doing the most, replaying episodes, scanning for side eyes, shady comments, anything that could crack the case. Folks swore they'd solve the mystery without Ashley ever naming names. And since so much Braxton family business has already aired on TV, it didn't take long before the theories went wild. There were breadcrumbs everywhere, and the internet picked up all of them. The biggest clue Ashley dropped. She said the man who made her uncomfortable was showing similar behavior on television. That one line had people connecting dots fast. Anyone who watched Braxton Family Values knows every sister had drama, but not all of them had their mess broadcast as loud and messy as one in particular. That's when all eyes turned to Trina. Back when this allegedly happened, Trina was married to Gabe Solis, and their relationship, straight chaos. They had one of the most explosive storylines on the show. Viewers watched their marriage fall apart, episode by episode. Gabe caught cheating, flirting online, getting exposed left and right. His actions weren't hidden. They played out in front of millions. Trina, to her credit, was open about her hurt and the betrayal. But even she admitted the situation got so toxic, she ended up stepping out too. Their story became a full-blown reality show soap opera. Non-stop drama, infidelity, and emotional distance. So when Ashley mentioned the man showed the same behavior on TV, fans immediately started side-eyeing Gabe. The timeline matched. The public scandals, right in line. And those red flag patterns, all there. Gabe had a long-standing rep for being way too flirty for a married man. Even die-hard fans remembered scenes where his boundaries were all over the place. He never tried to hide the fact that he had a wandering eye, which only made the theory stronger for fans digging through old episodes. What really turned up the heat? Ashley said she was around 16 when it all went down, so people ran straight to the Braxton Family Values timeline. And yep, Gabe and Trina were still together at the time. Their relationship was already considered toxic by both fans and the other sisters. With everything lining up too perfectly, the internet didn't need a name. They made their conclusion loud and clear. Now let's be honest, Trina wasn't the only one dealing with a man showing questionable behavior. If you really look back, almost every Braxton sister had her share of relationship drama. Whether it was getting cheated on, stepping out, or being stuck in constant arguments, their love lives have always been one messy roller coaster. Let's keep it all the way real. The chaos didn't just start with the Braxton sisters. That pattern runs deep. A lot of fans believe it all traces back to the woman who raised them, Mama Evelyn Braxton. And while Evelyn is no doubt a strong woman, her own story is packed with pain. Her relationship with Michael Braxton Sr. was full of betrayal. He had a rep for stepping out on her more than once. And Evelyn carried that hurt for years. Even after the divorce, she didn't hold back. She spoke on the heartbreak publicly, making it clear she never truly forgave him. If you watched Braxton Family Values, you already know. Evelyn never played about cheating. She hated unfaithful men. And when she spoke on it, the emotion was raw. Her confrontations with Michael Sr. were unforgettable, full of hurt, full of bitterness, and impossible to ignore. But here's the truth. That pain didn't stop with her. It trickled down into her daughters' lives too. The way Evelyn handled heartbreak shaped how her girls viewed love, trust, and betrayal. It was like they inherited the emotional weight and kept repeating the same cycle. So when people say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, this right here is a textbook example. The Braxton sisters saw firsthand how love could break a person. And over the years, many of their own relationships started to mirror the same roller coaster their parents went through. And now, with all these puzzle pieces coming together, fans feel like the picture is finally complete. The puzzle finally clicked based on the timeline, messy relationship history, and what we saw on TV. Fans are now convinced that Aunt Ashley spoke about is Trina Braxton. Ashley didn't drop names, but she really didn't have to. Her clues had internet sleuths locking in fast. She mentioned the man acting the same on TV. And when a commenter wrote, "Sounds like Trina and Gabe," Ashley hit that like button instantly. Another fan said, "I know it was Trina and Gabe. Gabe tried to fly out my cousin and booked a hotel near ATL Airport." And Ashley liked that too. So yeah, Ashley didn't speak out loud, but her likes, they said everything. The internet caught the vibe quick, and it didn't take long for folks to start calling it exactly what it looked like. Gabe's chaotic behavior was well documented on reality TV. It's not a reach to think Ashley's story lined up with his messy past. Now here's the real twist. Tamar, the sister who's always labeled the wild card, is the only one standing behind Ashley. That's right. Tamar is reportedly showing full support and even wants Ashley to come on the show to tell her story. And Trina? She's not here for it. Word is, Trina is furious about the whole thing. She already knows it's going to make her look bad, especially if the show digs into Gabe's past and the way she allegedly stood by him during all that mess. Insiders say that is what sparked this whole blow up between Tamar and Trina, and why filming for the Braxtons is now on pause. Yup, the drama really was that deep. And guess who's getting all the heat from the other sisters? Tamar. They're pointing fingers, saying she's the one stirring the pot, but fans. Some say she's just the only one keeping it real. Now the fallout has put the entire show on the edge, just months after they all promised to stay united for Tracy's memory. That promise is out the window. Instead of healing, it's been non-stop fighting, secrets, and now the whole family brand might fall apart. So what do you think? Was Tamar wrong for helping Ashley speak her truth? Should Trina be held accountable for what happened back then? Or is this just another chapter in a family saga that's been breaking down on camera for years? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and share for more of the tea you won't get anywhere else. See you in the next one.